I have a Tal Frieden. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please state your name and where you live. And you have 2 minutes.
My name is Tal Frieden, and I live at 106 Governor Street in Ward 1 in Providence, and I've lived there for 5 years. And I wanted to reiterate the support that so many others have already stated for defunding the police. And I want to make it clear that when we say defunding the police, we mean defunding the police with the goal of abolishing the police. Vanessa Flores Maldonado of Prism said this very clearly before, and I'll say it again. We need to be working to absolutely abolish the police, and we need to reimagine what it means to be safe in our community. And I know that this may sound like a radical, scary idea, and I see Councilman Jim Taylor laughing, but I want to be clear also that this is an entirely possible and entirely effective plan for combating racism, inequality, and actually making our communities much safer as a whole. Other places have done this before. We can look at Newark. The Newark Community Street Team is a violence intervention and violence reduction strategy that uses a trauma-informed approach to address community violence before it happens. The Bay Area Transformative Justice Collective uses transformative justice to address instances of interpersonal harm between people who have experienced violence and harm. Collective Action for Safe Spaces uses community-based solutions to build public spaces with safety in Washington, D.C. These are community solutions that exist elsewhere and that the city of Providence can invest in order to create safety here. Our current budget of $90 million could fund so much safe public housing, community intervention teams. There are so many endless options. And I just want to also reiterate something that Kimberly G said once, that abolition, the framework of abolition, actually allows us to use the greatest capacity that we as human beings are endowed with, which is our imagination. And we can collectively imagine a safer community where instead of armed police that enact racist violence on our community, we can imagine community outreach teams helping folks who are experiencing mental health issues. We can imagine community outreach teams that provide people experiencing housing insecurity with access to safe housing. We can imagine community intervention teams that allow folks experiencing interpersonal harm to address the conflict without involving the police, who are armed to the teeth with guns. We have the solutions within our community. The people who have been experiencing the brunt of this harm have the solutions in the community. We just need to invest in them. As Charlotte Abatzi said, again, we need to fund our futures instead of pouring endless resources into a system that we know doesn't work. So I just want to close by reiterating that abolishing and defunding the police is actually the only effective and pragmatic solution to police violence and police brutality within our communities. We've seen it just weeks ago. The police shot a Providence resident in the eye while he was driving in his car, permanently blinding him in one eye. We know that the problem is here in Providence, and we need to defund and disband the Providence police. Thank you.